So here we are. Let's have a look at what we've got. So where are we? Right, I've gone back home, so that's fine. And if we have a look at the directory, there, particularly the bottom end of that, I can see no, there's no .ssh, which I prefer. So let's make that directory. Let's change. We own it, so let's chmod it to 700. Okay, and now we should be able to see it. ls-al style, and there it is, directory 700 owned by Pi, so owned by the system itself. That's fine, that's good. Right, now what we're going to do is create a key pair, so that's using SSH keygen minus T RSA, and we'll set the bits to 4096. So that should be good. Okay, so there it is, it's generating. So it says where do we want to put it. So we're going to put it in the home directory pi SSH. Good job, we put that in there then. And we're going to create this RSA key, so that's fine, just press return on that. Enter a passphrase. You may or may not want a passphrase. I don't want one. So I'm going to move on with blankety blank. There it goes, it's randomized it and it's generated a key pair. So that's good. Let's go and have a look then and see what's in. So cd SSH and ls, ls minus al probably, and you can see again these are two files. They're owned by Pi. There is, let's have a look at that. So if we do a cat on id underscore RSA, that should be the private key. There you go, it says end of private key. So just expand that screen up and scroll up. Oh, right at the top there, look. Yeah, begin of RSA private key, load of randomized stuff in there, and then the end of that private key. So if that was the private key, then if we put a pub on the end, that must be the public key. And there indeed is the public key. So these are our key, this is our key pair that we're going to use, and we're going to use that in just a mo. So again, just looking inside here, that's all we've got. So we want to put a file in here, and we're effectively going to bring this what's called an authorized key file here, and we did refer to it earlier on, but very briefly. So remember how to spell authorized first, and then underscore keys. So just creating that file, and what we're going to do is we're going to take the public key and we're going to push it into this file. So just make sure it's there first. Make sure I haven't done anything silly like type it incorrectly, which does seem to be okay. So let's go and put that in. In fact, let's do it as soon as it doesn't want to copy and paste. So what we'll have to do is, we saw the file before, so we do a cat, and what we're doing is we're going to take that file and then just push it into authorized keys. So the file, of course, was this id underscore RSA dot pub, and we're going to send that to authorized. So it's here now, so we should hit the tab key, authorized keys. Right, let's have a look and see what's inside the authorized keys now. And there we go. That's just shoved in our public key. So that's here local against this particular user. That's an authorized key to use. Good. And what we can see, of course, here, if we look, we can see that that has actually been formed here locally. It was originally up here, look, when we looked at that particular public key. And that's formed on this node. We can see pi at raspberry underscore host underscore 3. Ah, well, in fact, actually, there's another one called raspberry underscore host underscore 3 because I cloned it, but we won't go into that. We're okay. So I'll go into host and just change that name at some suitable time. That'll put the cat amongst the pigeons, of course. So that's where we are at. We've started the process now, sort of personalising this a little bit against that particular Pi user for SSH and the set of authorized keys, of which there's only one, of course, at this moment in time. You can add more, and that will now be prescriptive. That is the set of keys that we will accept. Okay, in the singular in this case. Right, and before we go any further, let's just chmod to 600. And we're doing that for authorized keys. Again, I don't need to spell it. I can just hit the tab key because I'm in the same directory. ls-a, I'll see what that has done. And of course, what that does, as far as authorized keys is concerned, is made it read and writable, no longer executable. So that's good. Okay, so we've sort of set up authorized keys and we're ready to start thinking about establishing the connection with the remote device. Right, let's once again have a look at the keys and let's have a look at that private key. So again, we do cat-v id underscore RSA and we can see that key in all of its glory. Now what we can do is we can copy that key. The problem with doing this process, of course, is making sure that there's no extra spaces and things that appear in here. Because really what I need to do is I need to move this key now onto the remote device, the device that wants to establish the connection. So we got the public key, and now we're going to move the private key across to the other end, so that we can then have an interchange between those two using the public-private key pair. So we need to get this private key off of this device and onto the remote device. So we need to get that onto the PC. And then we can start running things like PuTTY keygen so that we can get the key in the right format for PuTTY to use into a PPK format. So we'll do that, and that's what we're going to do next.